The secret arrival. In the cold, dark space between stars, a ship moved without sound. It was smooth, black, and shaped like a teardrop. No radar could see it. No human telescope could track it. It was from far away, a world that had ruled planets for thousands of years. Inside that ship sat Queen Velnera, the ruler of the alien empire Velmari. She looked young, skin glowing like gold, eyes shining like blue fire. But inside, she was scared. Her time was running out. For generations, the queens of Velmari stayed young through a powerful ritual. It used a rare energy found only once in the galaxy, the living essence of human men. Long ago, they had taken this from ancient Earth tribes without being noticed. But now, that old supply had ended. And now, Earth was growing strong. Too strong. Humans had technology, satellites, and weapons. They were no longer easy to trick. But the queen had no choice. She was aging. Fast. Wrinkles were forming. Her skin was losing glow. Her bones ached. If she didn't find a new source of energy soon, she would die. The ship entered Earth's orbit silently. It slipped past satellites, using cloaking tech far beyond anything humans knew. It landed deep in a forest near a small town in America. The queen stepped out. She had changed her form. Her skin now looked human. Her long silver hair was tied back. Her alien eyes were hidden behind dark sunglasses. She wore a long black coat and gloves to hide her hands. She looked like a normal woman, beautiful, mysterious, and rich. The plan was simple: find a man with the right energy, extract it, and return home. But Earth had changed. In a small garage at the edge of town, Eli Parker wiped grease off his hands. He was 26 tall, with dark hair and kind eyes. His garage was small, but he was good with machines. He fixed cars, bikes, old radios, anything people brought him. Life wasn't easy. He barely made enough money to pay rent and feed himself. But he was smart, quiet, strong in mind and heart. Eli didn't know he was being watched. From across the street, Queen Velnera stood near a coffee shop. She sipped a drink she didn't understand, iced caramel latte. Too sweet, too cold, but she pretended to enjoy it. Her eyes stayed on Eli. He was fixing a motorbike, sleeves rolled up. Muscles moved in his arms as he worked. But that wasn't what caught her attention. It was the glow she saw in him. To human eyes, he looked normal. But to her, he shined like a star. "Perfect," she whispered. She walked across the street. Eli looked up as the woman approached. "Hi," she said with a smile. "My car broke down. I heard you're the best in town." Eli smiled politely. "I try. What's wrong with it?" "It just stopped working. Could be the engine. Or something. Deeper." She handed him a key. "It's around the corner. Black sit-in." Eli nodded. "I'll check it out after this." "Thank you," she said, smiling again. "You're kind." He didn't know why, but her voice gave him chills. Something about her didn't feel right. Still, he nodded and got back to work. After an hour, Eli walked around the corner and saw the black car. It looked new, too new. Not dusty. Not even a scratch. Strange. He opened the hood. The engine looked alien. Wires were glowing faintly blue. The battery didn't even have a brand name. It was smooth, silver, and warm. "What the hell?" he whispered. Then something moved. A small drop of green liquid fell from the engine onto his hand. It sizzled. He wiped it quickly, but it wasn't acid. It was thick, like blood. His heart began to race. This wasn't a normal car. This wasn't a normal woman. Eli closed the hood slowly. He turned to walk away, but the woman was standing right there. "Find anything interesting?" she asked, her voice soft. He swallowed hard. "Yeah, your engine's not from around here, is it?" She tilted her head. Her eyes seemed to glow under the sunglasses. "No," she said, Neither am I. Back inside her ship, hidden deep in the forest, Queen Velnera spoke to her royal guards. "He is the one," she said. "The energy inside him is strong. We will begin the ritual soon." "But he is not willing," said one guard. "He doesn't have to be," she replied coldly. "He is human. He will do what we need, or he will not survive." Outside, clouds gathered above the forest. A strange storm was coming, and Eli Parker had no idea how close he was to becoming the key to alien immortality. Chosen without consent, Eli Parker didn't sleep that night. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his hand where the glowing green liquid had touched him. His skin looked normal now, but it felt different, like something was buzzing under the surface. He kept touching the spot. Still warm. That woman, there was something about her. Her eyes, her voice, her car, none of it made sense. He thought about telling someone. The police? The news? But what would he say? "A lady with alien blood tricked me into fixing a spaceship." No one would believe him. They'd laugh. Or worse, lock him up. So Eli did nothing. But she didn't. The next morning, as Eli opened the garage, he found a small box on the doorstep. No note. No name. Inside the box was a glowing blue cube, smooth like glass, but pulsing like it was alive. A tiny light flickered inside it, soft, like a heartbeat. He picked it up. It felt warm again, like the car engine. The moment his fingers touched the surface, the cube changed. It projected a hologram into the air. A woman's face appeared. Her face. "Eli," she said, "I'm sorry to scare you. I only wanted your help. Come meet me. Tonight. 9 p.m. at the old observatory. No tricks. Just answers." Then the message vanished. Eli stared at the empty air where the image had been. She knew his name. She knew where he lived. And somehow she could send glowing space cubes to his doorstep. He had two choices: ignore it, or go find out what the hell was going on. That night, Eli drove his old pickup to the edge of town. The observatory was quiet, abandoned for years. No lights, no people, just silence and stars above. He walked carefully through the broken gate. Wind rustled dead leaves. His footsteps echoed on the cracked stone path. Inside the observatory, everything was dark. Dust floated in the air. The big telescope was still there, pointing at the sky like a forgotten finger. Then he heard it, a soft hum, the same hum from that strange engine. Light appeared near the telescope. A tall figure stepped into view. It was her. But this time, she wasn't hiding. Her disguise flickered and vanished. The glasses dropped. Her skin glowed softly under the moonlight. Her eyes were bright blue, with tiny stars inside them. Hair silver like moonlight. She was beautiful, but not human. Eli froze. His breath caught. "You're not from here," he whispered. "No," she said calmly. "I am Queen Velnera, ruler of Velnari. And you, Eli Parker, you are important to me." Eli took a step back. "You tricked me. You made me touch your ship. I needed to know if you were one of them," she said. "Not all humans carry the energy, but you do. It burns inside you, stronger than I've ever seen." "What energy?" he asked. "What are you talking about?" She walked closer. "Our queens live long, Eli. Hundreds of years, but only by bonding with certain beings, males of your kind. A long time ago, we took that gift in secret, but now, we need it again. And you could save my life." Eli's heart pounded. "So you want my blood?" "Not blood," she said. "Your essence, your life energy, your core. The part of you that makes you human, and more." Eli stepped back again. "And if I say no?" Her face changed. Not angry, but desperate. "Then I age, I weaken, I die. But more than that, if I fail, the other queens will come. They will take what they want. Earth will burn. She paused. I want peace. I want a way to live, without killing. But time is short. Help me find a way, Eli. Please. Eli looked at her. For a moment, he saw something real. Sadness, fear, and maybe even hope. But then the walls of the observatory started to shift. Metal panels slid open from nowhere. Lights blinked. The telescope folded into the floor. A hidden doorway appeared behind him. Wait, what is this? Eli asked. I couldn't risk losing you, the queen said softly. Two tall guards appeared behind her. Their skin was dark purple. Their eyes glowed red. They carried long silver rods that sparked with energy. You said no tricks, Eli growled. I lied, she said. Forgive me. The guard stepped forward. Eli turned to run, but the floor lit up beneath him. A circle of light wrapped around his feet. There was a flash, and then darkness. When Eli opened his eyes, he was no longer on Earth. He lay on a soft bed in a huge room that looked like a palace. The walls were glowing blue, and strange flowers floated in the air. Everything looked beautiful, clean, peaceful. But he felt cold inside. He wasn't a guest. He was a prisoner. Back on Earth, a strange report appeared in the local news. A young mechanic named Eli Parker had gone missing. No signs of struggle, no broken locks, just gone. And far above Earth, deep in the hidden chambers of the Queen's ship, Velnera looked down at her sleeping guest. He may hate me now, she whispered, but soon he will understand. She turned away as her royal scientists prepared the chamber. The ritual was beginning. The Queen's true face. Eli Parker had never seen anything like this before. He stood slowly from the soft, floating bed. His boots touched a glowing floor. Light rippled beneath his feet like water, but it felt solid. The walls around him pulsed with color, soft blue and purple, like they were alive and breathing. There were no windows, no doors, just endless, silent beauty. A deep hum filled the room, not loud but constant. He didn't know if it was the ship's engine or something else. He walked around the room, touching the walls. They were warm, smooth, like silk made from glass. He wasn't on Earth anymore. Then the wall in front of him rippled, like a curtain of water. A tall figure stepped through it. Queen Velnera. This time, she didn't wear her human disguise. No glasses, no coat, no tricks. Her silver hair floated behind her like windless silk. Her skin shimmered with soft golden tones. Her eyes, bright blue with a ring of white stars, glowed like miniature galaxies. She looked like a goddess. But Eli wasn't impressed. He stepped back. You kidnapped me. I saved you, she said calmly. Soon, others will come. I needed to keep you safe. Safe, he snapped. You trapped me in a glowing fish tank. Velnera didn't react with anger. Instead, she stepped closer. Her voice became soft, almost human. I know this is hard. I know you're scared, but you are special, Eli. More than you know. I don't want to be special, he said. I just want to go home. She looked down. For the first time, he noticed something strange. Her hands were trembling. Even if I let you go, she whispered, you wouldn't last long. Your body is changing. Eli froze. What do you mean? She raised a hand. A blue light passed over him, like a scanner. Then a hologram appeared between them, his body, glowing inside with faint golden light. That energy inside you, Velnera explained. We call it Vela. It's rare, pure, sacred. It's what our ancient queens used to live for centuries. But in humans, it is unstable. If not channeled, it burns from the inside. Eli stared at the image. The light in his chest flickered. Faster now. Stronger. I don't feel any different, he whispered. You will, she said. Soon. She walked to a nearby panel. The wall opened, revealing a massive hall. Eli followed her. What he saw next made his blood freeze. Hundreds of glass chambers lined the walls, each with a human inside. Men of different ages, some young, some older, all asleep, all glowing with that same golden light. What is this? Eli asked, voice shaking. Velnera didn't look at him. They were like you, chosen, but none survived the full ritual. Eli backed away. You're killing them. No, she said firmly. We're preserving them, searching for balance, a way to live without draining their lives. And how many died before you figured that out? Eli asked angrily. She didn't answer. Eli looked at the rows of frozen men and felt sick. These weren't guests. They were prisoners, test subjects. He turned to run, but two guards blocked the hallway. Tall, silent, skin like dark stone. They didn't raise weapons. They didn't need to. The message was clear. You're not going anywhere. Later, Velnera brought Eli to a chamber made of mirrors. They floated in the air, circling him. Each mirror showed a version of himself. Older, younger, stronger, weaker. Then, not human. His reflection twisted. Alien eyes. Glowing veins. He looked like them. What are you doing to me? He shouted. Helping you see the truth, Velnera said. You are not just human anymore. Stop lying to me. He snapped. The queen's voice rose, stronger now. I am not lying. You think I wanted this. You think I enjoy watching my people fade into dust, while humans waste the gift they carry inside. She took a deep breath, calming down. I was once like you. Young. Afraid. Then I was chosen to lead. To carry the burden of life for my people. But this power, it takes everything. My sisters are dying. Without your help, we are finished. She looked at him with something close to pain. But I want a better way. A way that saves both of us. Eli shook his head. And if I say no? Velnera looked him in the eyes. Then my people will come, and they will not ask nicely like I did. That night, Eli sat alone in his room again. He stared at the glowing cube she had left him. Inside it was a memory, a moving image of Velnera as a child, laughing, running across a glowing field under 3 suns. She had been innocent once. Now she ruled an empire of silence and science, caught between duty and desperation. Eli looked down at his hands. The veins were glowing faintly now. Not green, not red. Gold. Something inside him was changing. And far across the galaxy, on a hidden moon, a council of alien queens met in darkness. The human must be used, one of them said. Velnera grows weak. If she fails, we take him by force. Back in his chamber, Eli heard a whisper, not with his ears, in his mind. Her voice. Don't give up on me, Eli. I need you. The rebellion within. Eli hadn't seen the sun in days. He didn't even know if the ship had days. The sky here didn't change. The walls didn't darken. Time had no meaning. Meals appeared through glowing panels. Warm clothes folded themselves. And soft voices asked politely if he needed anything. It all felt too perfect, like a luxury prison. He wasn't locked behind bars, but he wasn't free. Not really. The worst part was his body. It was different now. His strength had grown. He could lift heavy things without trying. He didn't need to sleep much. His cuts healed in minutes. The golden light inside him was growing. Each time he looked in the mirror, he noticed the glow under his skin, around his eyes, inside his veins. He was becoming something else. Eli didn't want this. He wanted to fix bikes, laugh with friends, sit under the stars with greasy hands and a cup of coffee. He didn't want to be part of an alien queen's survival plan. But no one asked him. Until Selah came. She entered during one of the quiet hours, when the halls were empty and the ship's hum felt distant. Tall and silent, her armor shimmered like obsidian. Unlike the others, she didn't wear robes or carry the usual energy staff. She moved like a shadow, sharp, quiet, fast. Eli had seen her before, always near Velanera, standing guard, never speaking. But now, she walked into his chamber alone. He stood up quickly. "You lost." She didn't answer. Instead, she looked around the chamber, then pressed a glowing symbol on the wall. The lights dimmed. The hum outside faded. "We're alone now," she said softly. Her voice was calm but serious. Eli raised an eyebrow. "You speak English?" "I speak many things." "You're not the first human I've met." That made his heart race. "Wait, others talk to you. Lived here." "They tried," she said, eyes sharp. "None made it past the ritual." Eli sat slowly. "And what are you doing here now?" "I came to warn you." He laughed bitterly. "Bit late for that." She walked closer, armor whispering with each step. "You still have a choice, Eli. But not for long." Eli looked up. "What are you talking about?" She leaned closer. "The Queen is not lying. She truly wants peace, but the Council does not. They are preparing a full-scale harvest. Not just you. All of Earth's men." Eli froze. "They're planning to invade." Selah nodded. "Quietly. They will come disguised as teachers, doctors, diplomats. They will take samples, form partnerships, gain trust. Then they will take what they need. And the people who resist, they disappear," she said simply. Eli felt cold. "Velanera said she wanted peace." "She does," Selah said. "She is fighting her own kind to give you that chance. But she is alone, and growing weaker." Eli stood. "So why are you telling me this? You're one of them." Selah paused. "I was born to serve the queens," she said. "But I've seen what this ritual does. I've seen men beg for breath, scream for their families, vanish in golden light." Her voice grew quiet. "I'm done watching." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Finally, Eli asked, "What do we do?" Later that night, Selah led Eli through hidden tunnels, deep inside the ship. These weren't fancy or glowing. They were dark, narrow, and cold. Pipes rattled above. Dust floated in the air. It felt real. They reached a secret room, dimly lit, full of maps, stolen Earth tech, and star charts. There were names listed, hundreds of human males marked as harvest candidates. Some were already taken. Some were being watched. Eli's name was at the top. He clenched his fists. "We have to stop this." Selah nodded. "There's only one way, get you back to Earth." "But I thought the ship was cloaked." "It is, but there's a scout pod. Small, fast, hard to trace. I've reprogrammed it." Eli stared at her. "You planned this." "I've been waiting for someone strong enough, and angry enough." He looked at the maps. His town, his friends, Earth. "I'm both," he said. The escape was fast and violent. Selah led him through maintenance shafts. She disabled security drones. A blast door nearly crushed them. One of the guards spotted them. She knocked him out with a sharp elbow and dragged him into a vent. Alarms finally triggered. Eli ran with everything he had. His body felt lighter, faster, almost superhuman now. The golden light inside him surged like fire. They reached the docking bay. A sleek black pod waited. Then, Velanera stood there. She wasn't angry. She wasn't screaming. She looked sad. "You're leaving?" she asked. Eli stepped forward. "You didn't give me a choice. I gave you protection. I gave you time. You also gave me a prison," he said. She looked at Selah. "You betrayed me." Selah bowed her head. "I chose what was right." Velanera looked back at Eli. "You'll be hunted. I'll be free," he said. She stepped closer. "I didn't want this," she whispered. "But now that you're going, they will come. And I may not be able to stop them again." Eli looked into her glowing eyes one last time. "Then let me stop them first." He stepped into the pod. The door closed. Selah nodded and activated the launch. The pod shot out into space, small and fast, racing back toward Earth. On board the ship, Velnera stood alone in the docking bay. Her hands trembled again. Her glow dimmed. "He doesn't understand yet," she whispered. "But he will." She turned and walked slowly back to her chamber. Behind her, warning lights flashed across the control room. A new message had arrived from the Council. If the human escapes, initiate Phase 1. The invasion had begun. Human resistance awakens. The stars blurred into lines as the scout pod raced through space. Eli sat in the center, strapped into a smooth black seat. The controls glowed softly around him. But the pod flew on its own, guided by coordinates Selah had programmed. His heart pounded in his chest, not just from fear, but from the strange energy inside him. The golden light was stronger now. He felt it in every breath, every heartbeat, every thought. He wasn't the same man who fixed motorcycles in a dusty garage. He was becoming something more, but he didn't know what. The pod neared Earth's orbit. It dropped through the clouds like a falling star, its heat shield burning bright across the night sky. Below, in a remote desert base, a radar technician blinked at his screen. Sir, we've got an unidentified object entering the atmosphere." The commander stepped closer. "Is it a missile?" "No, sir. It's slowing down." The base went into alert mode. But before they could scramble jets or fire defenses, the pod crashed into the sand. Soft, silent, and smooth. Eli stepped out into the cold night air. He collapsed to his knees, breathing hard. Earth air smelled different. Dirt, sweat, real oxygen. It was sharp and familiar. It almost made him cry. A military jeep arrived moments later, its headlights cutting through the dust. Soldiers jumped out, shouting, guns aimed at him. "Hands up. Identify yourself." Eli raised his hand slowly. "My name is Eli Parker. I've been taken. I escaped from an alien ship." The soldiers hesitated. Then a voice came from behind them. Calm. Firm. "Stand down." A tall man in a black coat stepped forward. Sharp eyes. Gray at the temples. He looked like someone used to hiding secrets. "I'm Agent Marsden," he said. "You're coming with us." Eli was taken to Project Sentinel, a hidden military program no one knew about. Deep underground, in a base carved into a mountain, Eli told his story. Everything. Velnera, the ritual, the other men, the council, the invasion. No one laughed, because they already knew. Agent Marsden showed him files, photos, secret footage, strange energy readings, reports of glowing strangers walking among humans, disappearances of healthy men all over the world. "We've suspected something for years," Marsden said, "but we couldn't prove it. You just gave us the final piece." Eli looked at the giant screen behind him. Images of other suspected alien agents appeared. Maps showed spread zones, missing persons, silent towns. "How long do we have?" Eli asked. "Not long. We think their main fleet is already hiding near our moon." Eli clenched his fists. "Then we fight." Marsden raised an eyebrow. "You say that like a soldier." Eli stood slowly. "I'm not a soldier. I'm a mechanic." Then his skin glowed faintly gold. "But they changed me." Marsden nodded. "We'll use that." Project Sentinel launched a new task force, Operation Emberlight. It was led by Earth's best scientists, soldiers, and cyber warfare teams. But they needed one thing more than weapons. Eli himself. Inside a high-tech lab, scientists scanned Eli's body. The golden energy was alive, moving, reacting, protecting him. It made him stronger, faster, more focused. But it was also unstable. Without guidance, It could explode from within. Dr. Lena Hayek, a young biologist, led the team studying him. She was sharp, gentle, and didn't treat him like a lab rat. "This energy inside you," she said, "isn't just alien. It's evolving. It's merging with human DNA. You may be the first true hybrid." Eli swallowed. "So I'm not human anymore." She smiled softly. "You're still Eli. Just more." He looked down at his hands, glowing faintly under the skin. "Then I'll use it to stop them." But the Queen was already ahead. Back on her ship, Velnera stood before a communication crystal. A message flickered inside. An image of an elder queen in a golden mask. "You failed to keep him," the elder said. "I let him go," Velnera replied. "You've grown weak. I've grown wise. If we take Earth by force, we lose everything." "You're no longer fit to rule," the elder growled. Phase 1 begins. The image vanished. Velnera turned to Selah, who had just returned. "The invasion starts now. But there may still be hope." She placed her hand on a control panel. A hidden chamber opened, glowing with a swirling golden light. "This is the last ancient core," she whispered. "It can reset the ritual. Give them what they need. Without death." Selah looked unsure. "But it's not tested." Velnera nodded. "We test it. With Eli." Back on Earth, Eli trained with Project Sentinel's best. He learned how to move faster than bullets, how to bend metal with his hands, how to focus the golden energy like a weapon, pushing objects without touching them, creating blasts of force, even shielding others from harm. But the energy came at a cost. Each time he used it, it drained him, and the glow grew brighter, warning signs of burning too hot. Dr. Hayek warned him, "You're not a god, Eli. You're a fuse. You can light the world, or burn yourself out." Eli smiled faintly. "Let's light something then." Then the satellites picked it up. A fleet of cloaked ships, hundreds of them, just beyond the moon. And one message, broadcast to every major nation: "Surrender your strongest, or we take what we need." Panic spread across the world. But Project Sentinel was ready. Eli stood before a crowd of world leaders in a secret chamber beneath Geneva. "I've seen what they want. I've seen what they do to men like me. I say we stop them before they ever touch our world." The leaders looked at each other. Marsden stepped forward. "You're asking us to follow a mechanic into war." Eli looked up. His veins glowed like fire. His voice was steady. "I'm not just a mechanic anymore." He walked toward the launch bay, where a new ship waited. "I'm the cure they never expected." And above Earth, the alien fleet slowly moved into attack formation. The final battle was coming. The battle for youth. Above the Earth, the sky shimmered. At first, it looked like the stars were moving. Then the clouds parted, and the truth revealed itself. A fleet. Hundreds of alien ships, shaped like curved daggers and glowing with cold silver light. They hovered above the planet like ghosts, silent but terrifying. People around the world looked up and held their breath. The Queens had come. On every major news station, a message appeared, spoken in every language. "We offer peace for a price." Behind the voice, an image flickered, alien queens, tall and beautiful, standing in silence while hundreds of unconscious men floated behind them in glowing pods. "Give us your strongest, or we will take them." In the Project Sentinel Command Center, alarms blared. Screens showed cities under lockdown. Fighter jets scrambled into the sky. Governments debated, panicked, argued. But in the middle of the chaos, one man stood calm. Eli Parker. He wore a special black suit, made from both human and alien tech. Golden lines glowed across his chest and arms, pulsing with power. His eyes had changed too. They were brighter now. Fiercer. He wasn't fully human anymore. But his heart still was. "Launch the mission," he said. Marsden stepped forward. "Eli, if you go up there, There's no guarantee you'll come back." "I'm not going to come back," Eli said. "Not the same way. But I'll finish this." He looked at the screen. Velnera's face was there, frozen in mid-transmission. "She's trying to stop them." I saw it in her eyes. She's the only one who wanted peace, but now she's losing control. Dr. Hayek handed Eli a small crystal. "This is the core she left behind. Sayla smuggled it to us. It can rewrite the ritual. If you get close enough, plug it into their system. It might change everything." Eli nodded. "I'll give them a choice," he said. "But if they don't take it, I'll give them a fight." The ship roared into the sky. Small and fast, built for one purpose, to get Eli aboard the Queen's mothership. Inside, Eli felt the golden energy pulse through his veins like fire. He focused, remembering what Dr. Hayek taught him. Breathe. Anchor yourself. Control it, or it controls you. As he neared the alien fleet, cloaked scouts flew toward him. Silver beams flashed through space, trying to strike him down. But Eli was too fast. He dodged left, spun through a cloud of energy, and blasted forward. His ship crashed through the hangar bay of the main vessel, Velnera's ship. The hull buckled. The alarm screamed. And Eli stepped out, glowing like a small sun. Guards rushed forward. Eli raised a hand. A wave of golden light burst from his palm, not to kill, but to push. The guards flew backward, stunned but unarmed. "I don't want to hurt you," he shouted. "Let me speak to the Queen." More guards arrived. This time, weapons drawn. But then, a voice. "Let him pass." Velnera stood at the top of the stairs, her cloak flowing behind her like silver mist. Her face was tired, pale. Her glow had faded. She looked like someone who had run out of time. "You came," she said softly. "I had to," Eli replied. "They're starting a war." She nodded. "I couldn't stop them. The council took control. They think you're just a weapon, a resource." "Then show them they're wrong," Eli said. He stepped closer and held out the crystal. "This can fix the ritual. No more sacrifice. You can live, without killing." Velnera looked at it with wide eyes. "I thought the last one was destroyed. Sayla saved it, and now we have one chance." Suddenly, the ship trembled. The Elder Queen's voice echoed through the halls. "Remove the human. Begin the harvest." Velnera turned to Eli. "We have to reach the central core. That's where the system is controlled." "Then let's move," he said. The halls shook as Eli and Velnera ran together. Guards tried to stop them, but Velnera called out, "Stand down." Some listened. Some didn't. Eli used his power to shield Velnera, creating waves of golden light that knocked enemies aside without harm. He didn't want blood. He wanted change. They reached the core, a massive chamber full of floating crystals and energy streams. It looked like the heart of a star. Eli stepped forward and placed the crystal inside the central panel. The chamber lit up. Energy rushed through the walls. Screens flickered. Images of the frozen men appeared, all of them. Their life signs, their energy levels, their pain. Then something amazing happened. The screens began to shift. The energy readings turned green. The men were waking up. Across the galaxy, other queens felt the change. The ritual had been rewritten. Now, instead of draining life from humans, the process drew shared energy. Both sides gave. Both sides gained. No death. No sacrifice. It was balance. But the Elder Queen was furious. "You've betrayed us," she roared. Velnera stood tall. "No, I saved us." Eli stepped beside her. "You wanted power. We wanted peace. Now you get both, or you get nothing." The Elder tried to shut down the system, but it was too late. The code was locked. The new way had begun. Back on Earth, Project Sentinel watched the skies. The ships didn't fire. They didn't land. One by one, they disappeared into the stars, silent and fast, vanishing without a trace. Across the globe, missing men were returned, alive, dazed, but safe. People cried. Families hugged. The world breathed again. Eli's ship returned 2 days later. When the hatch opened, he stepped out, exhausted but standing. Velnera was with him, no longer glowing like a queen, but calm and at peace. Agent Marsden walked up. "So, did we win?" Eli looked up at the stars. "For now," he said, "but they'll remember us." He turned to Velnera. "And we'll remember her." Somewhere far away, in a hidden chamber, the elder queen stared at a broken crown in her hand. "Peace," she whispered bitterly. Then she looked up at a dark crystal pulsing in red. "But war always waits, the final choice." The world was quiet again. 2 weeks had passed since the alien ships disappeared from Earth's skies. No battles, no explosions, just a silent retreat. Across the globe, men who had vanished were found in fields, parks, and forests, confused but alive. Their memories were cloudy, like a long dream they couldn't explain. Most didn't remember the glowing chambers, the cold halls, or the queens who had stolen their strength. But Eli remembered everything. He remembered their faces. He remembered the pain. And he remembered the choice that changed everything. Now he was back in his garage, the same small place where it all began. Grease on the floor, tools on the wall, a half-fixed motorbike waiting for attention. But Eli wasn't the same man anymore. He had changed. Not just stronger, not just faster. Different. The golden light was still inside him. Fainter now, but alive. It no longer burned or hurt. It moved with him. It listened. He used it to weld metal without flame, to hear the vibrations inside engines, to calm a dog just by touching its fur. The people in town whispered about him. They called him the Star-Touched. Some feared him. Others thanked him. A few asked for help, and he always gave it, quietly, kindly. But Eli knew this peace wouldn't last. Not yet. One night, he felt it. A presence. Gentle, familiar. He stepped outside and looked toward the sky. Velnera stood at the edge of the street, dressed in simple human clothes. No glowing robes, no crown. Just a scarf around her shoulders and a tired smile. "You came back," Eli said. "I never really left," she replied. "I just needed time." They sat together on a bench outside the garage, under a quiet sky. "Things are changing," she said. "The ritual is no longer a curse. Our people are healing. Slowly, but not all accept it." "The council?" Eli asked. "They are silent," she said. "For now. But silence is dangerous." Eli nodded. "I can feel something coming, like a wave far from shore." She looked at him. "That's because the connection is still alive. Between us." He didn't answer. Instead, he watched a shooting star streak across the sky. "You never told me why you really saved me," he said. Velnera looked down. "At first, it was duty. Survival. You were a key, a tool. But then, I saw who you were." She turned to him. "I saw a man who fixed broken things, not because he had to, but because he cared. You didn't run from pain. You walked into it. That made you different." Eli was quiet for a long time. Then he asked, "So what happens now?" Velnera hesitated. "There is one final step," she said. "One last bond that could change both our kinds forever." Eli looked at her. What kind of bond? She opened her palm. A small, soft light floated above it. Half gold, half blue. It pulsed gently. "This is the final form of the ritual. Not one giving life, or taking it, but sharing it. You would become one of us. Not fully alien, not fully human. A bridge." Eli stared at the light. "What would happen to me?" You would live longer, feel more, sense the galaxy around you, but you'd never be only human again. And if I say no? She closed her hand. Then I return home, alone, and maybe one day war returns, or another queen decides not to offer peace. Eli stood and paced. His mind raced. He remembered the frozen chambers, the pain of others, the fear of being used, the weight of all those lives. But he also remembered Velnera's eyes, her sadness, her courage to change everything, even when it meant losing her crown, losing her people's trust. He looked at her now, not as a queen, but as someone who had risked everything for a better way. He thought about Earth and how fragile it still was. Maybe they needed a bridge. Maybe peace needed someone in the middle, someone to hold both sides together. The next morning, the people of the town gathered at the old field by the lake. They had no idea why. They just felt drawn there, as if the wind itself whispered their names. At the center of the field stood Eli and Velnera, facing each other in silence. Then, slowly, she raised the glowing light between her hands. Eli reached out. The moment he touched it, a wave of golden and blue light surged outward, like a heartbeat across the sky. The people gasped. But it didn't burn. It felt warm, comforting, safe. The light reached into the trees, the soil, the air. For a few short seconds, everyone in town felt connected to each other, to the stars, to something greater. Then the light faded. Eli stood tall, his eyes glowing with both gold and blue. He wasn't just a man anymore. He was a symbol, a promise, a protector of both worlds. Years passed. Velnera returned to her world, where peace slowly took root. Other queens stepped down from power. New leaders rose, ones who had no interest in sacrifice, only survival through harmony. The ritual became a bond shared only with willing humans, and only through peace. Earth grew stronger too. Under Project Sentinel's guidance, humans prepared not for war, but for contact, for unity. And Eli, he walked between both worlds, fixing broken things, helping where he could. He never asked for a crown, or power, or thanks. But across the stars, children whispered his name. Eli the Bridge, the human who taught queens how to live. And though the galaxy was still full of danger, one truth remained. As long as Eli lived, peace had a chance.